Hello and welcome back to Tea Talk. It's going to be an exciting night. We have so many different topics, a lot of context. We've got Lisa Z, we've got DeBoss, we've got Jinx, and behind the curtain, we've got Phantom. Tonight, we're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill. We're going to talk about taxes. We're going to talk about chaos in the news. We're going to talk about chaos going on in Los Angeles. What is the Trump administration really trying to do? We're going to talk about Kilmar Brega. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but most of all, we're going to give you a lot of context, a lot of information, things that's going to help you to know about what things are going on for you and where you live. So sit back and enjoy Tea Talk.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Tea Talk on the Pod, a roundtable of opinions and facts where politics are loud, news, it's sus, and the entertainment, it never stops. We have DeBoss, the pillar of substance and truth. Jinx, the voice of reason, wisdom, and a lot of sass. Lisa Z, the statistician of facts and tracks. And me, well, I'm T, the instigator, the protagonist, and I bring the heat, the heart, and the soul. Welcome to Tea Talk. I would suggest everyone listening to this podcast, if you can get your hands on a copy or download that bill, I think that everyone should read page by page. And I know it's 1,000 pages. I know that there's all kinds of little hidden things in there. And I had read on some of this, but some of the points that you guys have spoken about tonight, I didn't even know or I had missed. It seems to me that there are lots of hidden little things in there that all of our representatives may not want us to know. And I think that probably Jinx may know somewhere where those nuggets can be found. What do you have, Jinx?
Well, I poured over this bill. I looked through it and I heard that there were these little nuggets, and I like to call them little hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
Little hidden gems. And these are things, as Lisa talked about, that are in direct violation of the Byrd Rule. Senate's, let me just read this to you real quick. The Senate's Byrd Rule only allows budgetary issues and reconciliation bills. However, we will see if Republicans try to pass it anyway, because we know that they will, because that's what they're doing. So I've jotted a few of them down I'd like to share with you now. Okay. First of all is AI. Why would we want to sneak AI in there? So they are putting a provision around AI that says you cannot change it, modify it, adjust it, appeal it for 10 years. 10 years. Why do they need us to do that? Why are they trying to why are they slipping it in, and why for that amount of time? Right? They are using, we already know in the Luigi Mangione case. Isn't it something that we know his name, but not? Anyway, so we know that one of the reasons why he did what he did was because United Healthcare had started using an AI generated tool to deny claims. And it wasn't supposed to be to deny claims, but they tested it out and they knew that it was denying most of the claims, and they brought it up. And it was supposed to be fixed. It was supposed to be shelved, and it wasn't. And people were being denied claims, and folks were losing their lives, which is how we got to the news coverage that we did, right? So that's something to think about.
Scary.
It's really scary. I mean, they're going to use it. We know they'll use it for this, right? I think it's in here just as a way to help out with the insurance companies, who, by the way, I looked it up. $24 million went in the last campaign to our candidates from insurance companies.
Wow.
Right? So it's like, I will help you get in there and you will help us to not have to pay out so many claims, right? And it's really just so stark when you think about how detached these people are from people's lives.
Right.
Right? I mean, that CEO was wealthy, but he wasn't top 1% wealthy.
No.
Which is even scarier, right? Like, I don't think I'll be CEO rich in my lifetime, but it's not as far away from where we are as the 1%, yet he's still just as callous and cutthroat.
You know, because there's no connection to the average American's reality. Meaning, yeah, he wasn't the 1%, but you know what he didn't think about? He didn't think about healthcare. He didn't think about retirement. He didn't think about 401k. So his mind, the way they think, isn't even on the same level, because the things we're talking about, they can't wrap their mind around those things. They're just looking at the bottom line. They're just literally, it's just capitalism.
Right. It's just capitalism. That's their favorite thing to say. Right. And well, I have a fiduciary responsibility to my shareholders.
Right. Right. And it's an easy way. It's an easy way to explain it away, with capitalism being the foothold that they use. And we kind of have to dissect it, but they put this bill out there with so many pages. They know that the average American is not going to read it, but they're representatives. So, and we're talking to people. Know your representatives. Ask your representatives. Read it. There's sites out there that break this down, like Jinx is doing. We don't have a site. We have Jinx. We don't have a site. We have Jinx. But there's websites out there that will bring you the same information in a way that you can digest it. And they also have websites out there that will tell you, if you don't know who your representative is, and bring this thing to their attention. Because we've already seen certain states, certain counties, where their representatives have come out and said they didn't see that in the bill. Some of them which already signed off on the bill in the House.
Right.
Nobody could touch anything to do with AI for 10 years. It would be completely zero regulated. And that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene has been on the floor of the House saying, bring it back, because we know she's a huge proponent of states' rights. That's another conversation to have on another day.
She was getting a bunch of calls from her constituents, and she was getting people on X that was tearing her up. And she admitted she only read 298 pages of that 1,000-page bill. So
I'm going to say she didn't read 2 pages of that bill. I bet she didn't read 2 pages of that bill.
To DeBoss's point, like they want to make sure that we don't get a chance to read it. But yeah, they don't even want their own representatives, their fellow representatives, to read it either. Because look what happened. There's been several now that have come out against the bill and want the Senate to send it back to them.
Right.
So that they can, because they know it's bad. It looks bad on them to say, oh, we're not going to regulate something that the state and local governments have been trying to regulate, because they've been using AI. Landlords have been using AI to price gouge and to jack up rents and to, to do all this stuff. Grocery stores have been doing it to jack up their prices and get all their ducks in a row so they can all raise their prices the same amount. Which obliterates free market competition. It obliterates free market competition, right? They're supposed to love that, right? Isn't that what capitalism is?
They're secretly capitalists / monopolists. They want to corner the market of everything, and so it's healthcare, it's slimy landlords, like you said, Lisa. It's all the things, and we know we don't know a fraction of the applications where AI will be used.
Absolutely.
Right? We don't even read past the AI blurb on our phone when we Google something. We're like, oh yeah, I get the gist of it. right?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So it's really, I've always been a little like, ooh. I mean, I think we are all of a certain age that we remember Terminator 2 and Skynet.
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
Skynet was a thing, and I'm like,
And iRobot, yeah. Remember iRobot?
iRobot
Yeah.
and
Right.
Skynet. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, are we doing this to ourselves? Are we really doing this? So, okay, I
Yeah.
don't want to belabor this point. I want to move along. If you would like to check out in the bill, that is section 43201 for AI.
Mhm.
It also, another little nugget that I found is that it restricts federal courts authority to hold government in contempt if they violate judicial orders. When has that happened recently? Huh. Yeah.
Hmm.
So in order
Just
for
take
them
off
to,
all the guardrails, right?
right? So in order for them to, the courts or anyone to enforce their authority, it requires a bond to be paid before you even get into the court.
Mhm.
So you have to pay,
Pay bail, pretty much.
you have to pay to fight for your rights
Hmm.
in the United States of America in the year of our Lord 2025.
25.
Pay for your right to fight for your rights.
Hmm. Your rights have a price tag now, which
Yes.
means only people with money will be able to afford to have rights.
Exactly. Exactly. People have always, and there's enough people out there that, you know, they will talk about people who are like, oh my God, everybody gets so happy. Everybody's so sue happy. You know, we're such a litigious society. Well, that may be true. And there's always going to be some overflow and people who are going to be bad actors.
Mhm.
But do we really want to have to pay to fight for our rights?
I know.
They're tied to, I mean, it's already, we see like in the prison system with cash bail, and people sit in jail for months and years only because they can't afford the bail. Otherwise they would be out and they just have to report back for their court date. And we know it's not about the crime, because people who are out on the streets who have committed far worse crimes. So it's just going down that road. And I can't, well, yeah, I can believe it. But yeah, it's real interesting. So yeah. Okay. So moving on. Whew, so
Our panel tonight has brought all of the good facts as best as we can get them to you.
Yes.
Absolutely the best. Jinx,
just
did
so
you
you
have
know,
one last thing that you wanted to add?
I have one more thing. It's a bigger nugget of things, but I'm gonna
Knock
make
it
my
out of
way.
the park.
I'm gonna get through this. I'm not gonna waste too much more of your time. So they have put in this bill. They've come up with all of these fees, again, in violation of the Byrd Rule, fees tied to immigration. So generally, there have been fees on the book, but they're generally waived. It's not a thing, because we did not want it to be cost prohibitive to come to this country, right?
Sure.
Bring us our poor, your tired, your huddled masses, right? So they have come up with all of these fees that they are going to now tie to people seeking legal pathways, legal residency to come into this country. So I just looked at the overall picture. $1,000 for asylum, $550 to get your work authorization process. That has to be renewed every 6 months, used to be every 5 years. And $5,000 if you are caught coming between a port of entry, which is a misdemeanor. All right. So what's the purpose? Which kind of leads back to the prison thing, which leads us down that road. But you're trying you built this big, beautiful wall, or at least you were going to. I mean, as far as certain people in our country are concerned, the border is shut down.
Right.
Shut.
Right.
Okay. So you're
And
trying
we're deporting people as fast as lightning, right?
Right.
Fast as we can pick them up, we're picking them up and throwing them out because we don't have time to put them in front of a judge. We just don't have time.
just putting them on the first thing smoking. Out you go.
Yes,
right.
out you go.
If you've shut down the border and now you are charging people again.
Yeah, entry fees.
And this is not, you're not buying asylum.
Right.
You are paying $1,000 for the opportunity to ask for asylum, for the opportunity to ask for a work permit, as a fine for, are there nefarious creatures out there that are doing bad things? Absolutely. We've said that. But so many of these people that are coming through these ports of entry, they're just trying to get to the other side.
They're running for their lives.
They're running for their lives. And people who are trying to sneak into the country don't flag down the border patrol.
No.
Correct.
That's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
That's not
right.
Not a thing.
So those are the fees for just those three things, but there's a whole bunch more. And there's a whole bunch for 1.25 billion to hire immigration judges. Well, I thought that was real interesting, because if my memory serves me, Trump raised the performance plan for judges in his last administration, which led to 29 judges either retiring or being fired. They were like, I'm out, right? It's that thing, we've all worked for a boss who has just made it so impossible. It's a thing through HR. It's called a disruptive discharge. You make it so uncomfortable to work there that you leave.
Right.
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 And in this year, in this administration, he has recently fired 20 more immigration judges. Now, I don't know. I thought we needed immigration judges, which according to these numbers, 1.25 billion, we do. So why are you firing them? Were they not sycophantic enough? I don't know. Did you check their voter registration? Did you check their donations, their contributions? Why weren't they good enough? That you need this much money. Now you need to hire some more people. And it made me think about another time in our history when we had a bipartisan immigration bill, right? And in these fees that I won't bore you with, there's a lot. You can go check it out because the source is the big, beautiful bill. It's available to all of us for technology to keep out illicit drugs and substances, to update cameras, to update the fleet of cars and vehicles, all of these things. I seem to remember that in the previous administration's bill, they had those things in there too, but they didn't want to do that. Someone said, I think his words were
about the bill that Republican Representative Langford, I believe his name, wrote that bill that Trump made them squash so that he could run on bad immigration bills.
Right. I believe that his words were, leave it, we'll fix it when we get in. We'll fix it later, right? So if any of you are interested in comparing oranges to oranges and apples to apples, it is Senate Bill 4361, year 2024. And you can look it up yourself, because that was why it was so bipartisan, because I mean, the Democrats really didn't get much. It was
super conservative.
Super conservative. So that's just, I found that interesting that he told, it's just kind of confirming what we were saying and what we believed, right? That he didn't want to fix it. He just wanted to run on it.
Well, and think about it too. He wouldn't be able to do the stuff he's doing now had they passed that bill.
Correct.
Because it would have fixed a lot of the problems that he's deporting people for, and it would have gave them pathways to stay here legally and work and all that kind of stuff. And it would have fixed the problem that he says he needs to fix by doing everything that he's doing and funneling all this money to the for-profit prisons and the whole 9 yards, right? It's like it would have prevented him from doing this, and he wouldn't have been able to run on it.
Right. And it would have taken away the narrative that I need $185 billion from our taxpayers to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Much of
He needed a
which will end up in,
justification.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all the rounding up, even though we know he has rounded up people that he shouldn't have, he has violated the law several times. It still feeds the narrative that this is how bad it is.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps to justify these numbers in their mind.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
to wrap that up, that's all I have for hidden gems. There's more in there. I'm sure you can
Sure,
find them.
sure.
But
But
all I
just
have,
remember, if you're a listener out there and you may be listening from abroad, if you've got $5 million, you can get yourself a golden ticket and you can swing into the United States, fly right on in, fly
Mhm.
under the radar, get
As
yourself
a
a nice
citizen,
house,
right?
and try to
Or
get
at
that
least a legal
$5
resident,
million
I think.
check.
right.
Mhm.
Right. So as I wrap this little section up, I will just say that all of these things can happen. It's totally fine. But if they want them in, they're going to have to bring them in the right way.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Jinx, I want to say thank you to you. Thank you to Lisa Z. And thank you to the boss. You always bring the facts. We check them. We put them out there. We give places where people can go and find what we're talking about. And I'm going to drop one little nugget too. People can go into that big, beautiful, colossal bill on page 278 and page 279. And you can read about the AI things that Jinx was talking about just a moment ago, and how all of those things can affect you and what they wanted to do to hide and secure AI from having any kind of governance whatsoever. Remember that, page 278 and 279 of the big, dumb, stupid bill.
Now, there is still time for us to stop the big, beautiful bill from becoming law. And the way that we do that is we reach out to our representatives in Congress and in the Senate. Now, the bill is making its way through the Senate, and all signs point to the fact that they are making it worse, not better. And they will be able to pass this vote with simple majorities unless we reach out to them and put enough pressure on them to stop it, or at least try to stop the very worst parts of it. The way we do that is to call the Congressional Switchboard at 202 224 3121. That's 202 224 3121. You just tell them where you live and they will connect you to your representatives.
I want to say thank you to everybody. I hope everyone that has watched the kickoff for Tea Talk will be repeat offenders and keep coming back. I want to thank Lisa Z. I want to thank DeBoss. I want to thank Jinx. But most of all, I want to thank Phantom. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for Phantom. He is our tech guy, our IT guy. He is the guy. And he is the one that has made Tea Talk possible to come to you. I hope this will be a learning experience for all of us. I hope that everything that is discussed, we all take something from it. And I hope that it makes us all better people, a better individual. And I hope that we can take that betterness and spread it around to others and let them know everyone is welcome here. Again, I want to thank you for Tea Talk, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, it's me, Phantom the IT guy, reminding you to hit the like, share, and subscribe button below this video. And don't forget to leave your questions and comments for us down below. We'll select a few questions or comments to share and answer on our next show. Thanks again for watching, and keep an eye out for our next episode.